It's Nørgaard. So today I'm doing another highly requested video, and that is a half drugstore and half high-end makeup tutorial. So half of my face is using only drugstore products and the other half is using only high-end. Isn't that amazing? Can you guys tell which side is which? Okay, so go down into the comment section, pause this video and then write a comment telling me which side you think is the high-end and which one is the drugstore. Okay, so let me reveal it to you guys. This side is high-end, this side is drugstore, and I love both sides. I think it's amazing that you can achieve like the same exact look with really different priced products. But yeah, as I said, I have gotten this video requested a lot lately. I did do one about a year ago. I will link it down below if you want to see it. But I really enjoy doing these videos. I think it's really fun to find dupes. I was spending the whole entire day finding dupes. Like I had my entire arm from like up here where my knuckles are and down to my elbow. It was all just swatches. So I had like powder swatches, eyeshadows, eyeliners, lipsticks, lip liners. I had everything, okay, on my arm. But anyways, I'm just going on a rant now. So yeah, I'm going to show you the full face from start to finish of how I got this look. It's quite a simple, a little bit kind of grungy look. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. Also, this video will most likely go up on Christmas. So I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a really great Christmas with all your loved ones. I'm really excited. So without further ado, here comes the tutorial. Okay, so to get this look started, we are of course going to start out with primer. So I'm going to use my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And for my dupe, I have my e.l.f. Mineral Foundation Primer. So these two are really similar. They feel pretty much the same going on. And they are both that clear face primer, and they just really smooth out the skin and fill in the pores. For underneath the eyes, I'm going to use Smashbox Undereye Hydrating Eye Primer, and then I'm going to use the e.l.f. Undereye Hydrating Eye Primer. And these even look the same. They are both like a light pink color, and they feel the same going on. They just feel really hydrating and super smooth. So for my foundations, I'm going to use Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation mixed with DermaBlend by Bisque. So the Marc Jacobs foundation is in the color Ivory Light, and this is a little bit too light. And the DermaBlend is in the color 25 Nude, and that's a bit too dark, so I mixed the two together. And then for my cheaper alternative, I am using the L'Oreal Lumi Magic Light Infusing Foundation. And I don't know what color this is because it doesn't say on here, but this is a lot darker than my skin. So I'm going to mix it with L'Oreal Infallible Matte Foundation in the color Porcelain. So these are the foundations we're going to be using. So I tried to mix the foundations so that they are the same color, because I don't want one side of my face that's darker than the other. And I think they look about right. So let's just go ahead and blend this out. And the Marc Jacobs foundation and also the DermaBlend foundation, they have really good coverage. So I'm going to remove the foundation off of my beauty blender, and then we are going to do this other side with the L'Oreal foundations. And this doesn't have as good coverage, but we are also using like a pretty lightweight dewy foundation. But the L'Oreal Infallible Matte has really great coverage. And I mean, it's not too bad. It's actually pretty good coverage, but it is not as full as my other side. So I like both of these foundation combinations, and I'm very pleased with how close I got the two colors to match. And I can actually tell you guys that this side actually feels a lot more heavy than this side. I can't feel that I have anything on over here, but I can definitely feel it over here. So a dupe that I have heard about like 1,000 times is the MAC Pro LongWear and the LA Girl Pro Conceal. And since I own both of them, I thought I would try and dupe them for you guys today. For me, it has never been like an obvious dupe because they come in like different kind of containers and the consistency is different. But let's apply them and see. So a little bit of MAC and now a little bit of LA Girl. So as you guys can see, the consistency is different. MAC is much more liquid and LA Girl is a cream. But let's try and blend them out. And by the way, I have NC15 and then Porcelain. So I do have the two lightest colors from each brand. So MAC just blends out so easily. It spreads really easily. And it has full coverage, and really you can say the same about the LA Girl. So they both work really well. And now I'm going to set these two concealers with under eye powder. So over here I have Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Powder. And then I have the under eye setting powder by e.l.f. And these are both like translucent loose powders. So I just look up and set my under eye. And the same over here. And I really like both of these powders. However, I will say that the Mercier, the way this container works, it gets so messy. Like every time I open and close this jar, there's just powder everywhere. So I'm not too impressed with that. So for my regular powders, I'm going to use Lancôme and Rimmel. So I have this Lancôme dual finish versatile powder makeup in the color Matte Bisque number 2. And then I have the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in the color Sandstorm. So I'm just going to set with the Lancôme on this side. And I really like this powder. However, it does have a very strong perfumey scent, which will probably appeal to some people. It has that like classic Lancôme rosy smell, but personally I'm not too big a fan of it, but it works beautifully. And then Rimmel, and I really love the Rimmel Stay Matte powders. So really I love both of these powders. Lancôme is a little more fancy looking and it has a mirror, but I really like both. So when it comes to bronzer, this dupe is like a no-brainer. So it's NARS Laguna Bronzer and e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzing Powder in St. Lucia. So this is what they look like, and they go on incredibly similar. They look pretty much identical. So let's go ahead and do the NARS Laguna Bronzer. It looks really natural and sun-kissed. And I also do take it a little bit along the jaw. You guys know how I do it. And then I also do this half of my nose. So now let's do the e.l.f. So again, this looks really natural and it blends out easily. And then up around the hairline. And then finally, I go down underneath the jaw. And then of course I do the nose. So that's the two bronzers. They look incredibly similar. So for my contour and my under eye highlights, I'm going to use Kat Von D and Born Pretty Store. So I'm going to use this yellow highlight color from Kat Von D, and I'm going to use this yellow color from Born Pretty Store. And these colors are a little bit different. The one from Kat Von D is a little bit darker, but I think on the skin, because it's not a product that you really pack on and want to be really vibrant, so on the skin they look the same. So let's just go ahead and apply a little bit of that. Kat Von D over here, and then Born Pretty Store over here. And then I'm going to use this color from Kat Von D to contour, and then this color from Born Pretty Store. And these look exactly the same when you swatch them. So let's go in with a bit of Kat Von D, and then let's do Born Pretty Store. And I think the Born Pretty Store one goes on a little bit darker, but other than that, they're basically the same. Then I just blend it in with my bronzer. So now for blush, I found something super cool. So over here I have NARS blush in the color Deep Throat. And then over here I have Technique Adorn Makeup Kit, and I have the blush up in here. So let me just swatch these two colors so you can see how identical they look. So I hope you guys can see that. That's the two blushes. They look identical. So let's go ahead and apply some Deep Throat on the high-end side. I love this blush, it's one of my absolute favorites. And then let's do a Technique over here. So here you guys can see that these colors are super similar. So for my highlight I have Becca Opal and it looks like this. And then I have e.l.f. Baked Blush in Pinktastic. And these are incredibly similar. e.l.f. is just a little more pink, whereas Opal is more golden. So I hope you guys can see the swatch right there, with Opal on the top and e.l.f. on the bottom. So I'm going to apply a bit of this Opal over here on this cheekbone and blend it in with my blush brush. And then I wipe off my brush. And then I do e.l.f. Pinktastic over here and blend it in. And then down the nose I'm going to use e.l.f. and I use Becca on the Cupid's bow. So for my eyebrow on the high-end side I'm going to use the Nørgaard Brow Bar to Go in the color Blonde True Brunette. And on the Drugstore side I'm going to use e.l.f.'s eyebrow kit in Ash. So I'm going to start out with the wax from the brow bar, and then I use the wax from e.l.f., which this one has a little color. Then I use the light color from the brow bar and I just go in with this with my Born Pretty Store angled brush. So this brow bar color is pretty warm. And then I take this powder from e.l.f. and this one is more cool toned. So I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but this brow is definitely a lot more warm toned, whereas this brow is a lot more cool toned. So they are about the same color, it's just the undertone that's different. And actually I really like both. So for my eyeshadow primers I'm going to use Too Faced and e.l.f. So I have just recently started using this Too Faced primer and I must say I really enjoy it. It's very close to clear and it just dries really nicely. The e.l.f. one is a long time favorite of mine. Just like the Too Faced one, it dries and really sets, but this one has some more pigment to it, so it also neutralizes your eyelid. Okay, so now we're going to do something really fun, which are the eyeshadows. So over here I have my Urban Decay Naked Smoky palettes, and for my dupe I have my Catrice Absolute Matte eyeshadow palettes. So from my Urban Decay palette I'm going to use these last 4 colors because these are the matte colors in this palette. And in my Catrice palette I found these 2 dupes as well as these 2. So here you guys have the eyeshadows swatched. So up here we have Urban Decay and then underneath we have Catrice. So I'm going to start with the color Combust from Urban Decay, and I'm applying this with an Urban Decay brush, and this is going to be our transitioning color. Then I take this color from Catrice and I apply that as my transitioning color over here. This Catrice color is a little bit more cool toned, whereas the Urban Decay color is more warm toned. So now I'm going to use the color 13, and this is going to be our brow bone highlights, and it's also going to be our inner corner highlights. And then I'm going to use this color from Catrice, and again this is our brow bone highlights. So the lighter colors in the Catrice palette are a little more chalky than the Urban Decay ones, but other than that they give pretty much the same effect. So now I'm going to take the color Password and I'm going to pop this right in the crease, so right below the transitioning color, and it's okay if you get a bit onto the eyelid. And I go back in and blend with the transitioning color. And then I use this color from Catrice. So the Urban Decay color has more pigmentation, but you can definitely build up the Catrice color to get it to the same level. And I feel like, I mean, you don't want eyeshadows that are not pigmented whatsoever, but sometimes when you have really pigmented eyeshadows, it can also get a little bit out of hand. So I don't know, I like both. So now I'm going to take the color Whiskey and I'm going to pack this color onto my eyelid, and this is a gorgeous dark brown color. And then the dupe for that is this color by Catrice, and you guys can see this is another beautiful deep dark brown matte color. This is probably the best of the Catrice eyeshadows. It's really soft and creamy. So now I'm taking Whiskey, which is the dark brown, and I'm applying that underneath the eyes. And then I'm smoking it out with our transitioning color, and that was Combust. So now I'm taking the dupes from my Catrice palette and doing the same exact thing. So for my eyeliners, I have Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in 0 and W7 Magic Gel eyeliner. So I'm going to go ahead and tightline and also pop it on my waterline, and the same on the Drugstore side with my W7 eyeliner. So I really love both of these eyeliners because they are so smooth and so black, and they apply really easily and pigmented onto the waterlines. So for mascaras, I'm going to use Too Faced Better Than Sex on my high-end side and Gosh Show Me Volume on my Drugstore side. Both of these mascaras are super black and super volumizing. The Too Faced mascara is a bit more wet, whereas the Gosh mascara is a bit more dry, which normally I like more dry mascaras because they don't smear as much, but for some reason the Too Faced mascara just works. It's like because it is so wet, it just coats all the lashes so quickly, but it doesn't smear and it dries really fast. So now I'm going to do the second coat, and then let's do the Drugstore. So that's 2 coats of mascara. So these are the finished eyes. I just applied a little bit of mascara to my bottom lashes. So it's not a super spectacular eye look, but it's a really pretty, easy smoky eye. But anyways, now let's do the lips. So for my lip liners, I have MAC Whirl and Jordana Rock and Rose. So there you guys have Whirl and Rock and Rose. So this one is Whirl and this one over here is Rock and Rose. So I'm going to line each side with their different lip liners. And then let's do Jordana. So you guys can see that these look basically the same on the lips. So for my lipsticks, I'm going to use liquid lipsticks. I'm going to use Dose of Colors, Stone, and Born Pretty Store liquid lipstick in number 18. So let's go ahead with the Dose of Colors. And then let's do Born Pretty Store. So that's the 2 liquid lipsticks side by side. I feel like the Dose of Colors is just a hair bit more purple, whereas the Born Pretty Store is a tiny little bit more brown. But I mean, if I wore this out in public, nobody would be able to tell that I was not just wearing one liquid lipstick, okay? So I just swatched them right here on my hand, the 2 liquid lipsticks, and as you guys can see, they are so very similar. So this one over here is Dose of Colors, and this one over here is Born Pretty Store. So the dose of colors one is just a hair bit more purple. But as you guys can see, when they are dry on the lips, they look the same. Okay, so this is the final look. So I hope you guys like this half high-end and half drugstore face. It was a lot of fun to do. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys again tomorrow for a new video. So take care and bye bye!